La 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 la. La la
La la la.
la.
Hey, this is Crafty here. What we're going to be talking about in this video is called the next level steps past the beginner stage for, that's right, vocals. Coming right up. If you have not watched the video called Are You Past the Beginner Stage, perhaps watch that just to make sure that you've got all your fundamentals in check. So you might have already heard of a bunch of these things before, but hey, just recapping is going to be a good help for you, and you might pick up some new stuff as well. Can you recognize basic intervals? What that basically means is the distance between two notes. So you could have that would be an octave. That would be a semitone. And there's a lot of other different intervals, different distances that if you went to music class like what I did back in school, well then you would have learnt that. But if you had no idea that you could actually identify each different distance, well then do some Googling, check out some basic intervals. Okay, next on our checklist here is, can you recognize the difference between a major and a minor? So in the basic music theory terms that we talked about earlier in this video, we mentioned chords and arpeggios. Now, two of the most common types of chords / arpeggios are major and minor. Major is happy, minor, sad. And as a singer, it's really good to be able to just recognize that there is a difference when you're listening to the musical elements, but also be able to use your voice and be able to control the major notes and the minor notes. I'll demonstrate. Okay, so if I start with the starting note A, la, then there's two extra notes that I'll need to sing a major arpeggio, which spells out the A major chord notes. La, la, la. And then the minor will be la, la, la. You notice that the only difference was the one in the middle, which is the third of the scale. Don't want to get too technical, but there you have it. Okay, so the next step on our list is, can you sing a bunch of scales? In the beginner video, we talked about major scales. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some other scales. I'll start with the minor scale. All right, so I'll do all of these in the key of A. So here's A minor. Okay, so next is the blues scale. I practice them a lot on guitar, and so just going through the motions help me with my pitch. Good little hack for you if you're a guitarist as well. All right, so the blues scale is actually really similar to the minor pentatonic scale. Okay, so if there's a minor pentatonic scale, then there has to be a major pentatonic as well. This is how the major pentatonic sounds. Doing them ascending and descending is really good practice. Now with the intervals, as I mentioned earlier, a good way to be able to remember the sound characteristics of certain intervals is from certain songs. And some scales are used in songs as well. The major pentatonic scale is just the intro to the song My Girl. Da, 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 dum, da, do, da, do, da. Doing them ascending and descending is really good practice. Okay, next on our checklist is, do you have good diction when you sing? It's not really going to be very beneficial to the audience or to you if you're mumbling and if all of the important lyrics that you're trying to communicate to the listener aren't very clear. So make sure that every time that you're practicing your singing is just make sure that all of your vowels and consonants are enunciated. But you don't have to make that face. Please don't make that face. Can you imagine if you are singing in a pretty loud band and you've got a really soft vocal dynamic? You or the sound engineer are going to have to turn the microphone up really quite loud. That could work, except the chance for feedback, which if you don't know what that is, it's that really loud, ugly noises, might occur because a microphone and a speaker in a particular environment can only go up so loud. So if you've got a drummer that's really loud, a guitarist with a big loud amp and so forth, well then projecting your voice is going to be able to help get above the sound of the band, and it'll be able to make you heard. And in that instance, it'll probably actually suit the music more as well. Now, if you're a bit cautious and a bit nervous in regards to practicing really letting your voice go, there's two good exercises for you. One is to, when you're practicing, is just to pretend that you're going to sing past whatever wall that is in front of you. Or another way to think of it is that you're on a big oval and that you're throwing your voice. Think that your voice is being thrown further than the outskirts of the oval. Okay, so if the thought of projecting your voice that loudly sort of intimidates you, makes you feel nervous that other people in your household or neighbors might hear you, well then a really good hack is grab a towel and then just sing as loud as you can into it. It'll muffle you. It'll be fine.
He's losing his mind. And I'm reaping all the benefits.
Okay, next on our list is, are you able to identify if a song is too high or low for your vocal range? So I'll quickly demonstrate. There's a song called I'm Yours by Jason Mraz, which is in the key of B major. So the first line goes like this. Well, you done me in your bed that I felt it. Now I can execute those notes, but it's up in my head voice. If I was going to sing that in my chest voice, brace yourself, this won't necessarily sound that good. Well, you done me in your bed, I felt it. Now, the song's a laid back kind of song that's kind of chilled. You don't want to be really pumping out your vocals soaring that high in your range. Yeah, so what I did is I lowered it down. So I'm in the key of B here. If I go down to A, down to G. Well, you done me in your bed, I felt it. I tried to be chill, but just so hot that I melted. It suits my vocal range so much better. So if you didn't realize that you have license to do that, well then go for it. If there's a bunch of songs that you think, oh, it feels a little bit too low or a little bit too high, well then just adjust accordingly. The only strife that you're going to get into is that if you're practicing with the original recording, which is not in your key, well then that's not going to be very good help. But that's where the amazing slow downer app that I just mentioned in the beginner video, that'll help out because you can adjust the pitch of whatever song that you've got in the app. And the only other bit of resistance that you might get is from other musicians that play the song in their key that they're used to playing, which is probably the original key. So if you're changing keys around, you better find some other musicians that are able to just change the area on their instrument of where they play it. Okay, so going on from what we've just talked about, identifying the right key for your vocal range, can you actually identify what the key is? What that means is there's a bunch of notes and a bunch of chords that are all in a particular family, and if you know that it's in the key of B or in the key of A or whatever it is, it's going to be able to make it easier to communicate with other musicians which key that you want to sing it in. So get on that. Key identification. It's the ID that you need. Okay, we're getting further down this list. Next is, can you sing 10 songs straight without losing your voice, without feeling tired, without feeling tense? So singing 10 songs straight would roughly equate to about 40 to 45 minutes, and that would be a good guide. It's an industry standard for something that you should be able to do. If you think that's going to be a bit of a struggle for you, well then what I would suggest is just try in your practicing, try doing say 2 songs straight, and then try 3, and then try 4. Don't go from being able to do 2 songs to 10 straight away. Just small increments. Okay, we did it. We're here. But did I forget anything? If there was any points that you thought that I could have mentioned, well then let me know in the comments below. And last thing, just before I sign off, I've got something to give you. It's a free download. It's an ebook called Actually, How Good Are You? So we've each got our own personal goals on this individual musical journey that we're on. And sometimes we have to take a brutal self-analysis. We have to really take a look inside and just figure out, well, where am I at and where am I going? And the beauty about this ebook is that what I've done is I've designed a way to be able to just make you realize exactly where you are at, and you can take the action steps appropriate to be able to figure out actually how good are you. So what are you waiting for? Just download it. It's free and it'll give you all of those things that you want to know. So yeah, download that ebook and I'll see you in another video really soon.